Hello, StarCraft fans! This is Falcon Paladin coming to you with yet another daily Legacy of the Void upload, and today is an Into the Void game between xQcDylx and Sindrew on Blackpink, the latter edition. In the top right-hand corner of the map, we have the red Protoss player. His name is Sindrew from Awaken. And in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, it's going to be the blue Zerg player, xQcDylx. I have no idea. I'm going to call you QC. I'm going to call you QC today. Ah, look at these two players. They're talking to each other about getting matched against platinum players. Yeah, this is definitely going to be a silver or bronze level game. Sent to me at falconpaladin@gmail.com with the subject of Into the Void. The best ones are chosen by my screeners and then cast. And then everybody is very happy about that. All right, so a little sniffly today. Okay, so my wife and kids were just ill over Christmas break. We were at our in-laws, and it was just sad. They had really high fevers. They were achy all over the place. They were coughing and sneezing like a crazy person, and I managed to avoid all of it until we got home. We got home late last night, and I woke up this morning with some sniffles and a little bit of some coughing, but otherwise I'm okay. So if I sniffle a couple times in the cast, I apologize. I'm trying to avoid doing that. I'm trying to mute if that does end up happening, but sometimes it cannot be avoided. All right, so Into the Void, again, just an examination of low-level stuff. We want to talk about what players are doing wrong, what players are doing right, what you can learn from if you're new to StarCraft. And so far, I'd say it's making a lot of sense for both of these players. We've got the double gas up for Sindrew, and with the gateway finishing up here too. I'd like to see him expand. If he's going to have 2 gas, he either needs a cyber core, he needs to start teching up to some kind of a crazy one-base play. There's your cyber core. Or else expand behind it. Now, Protoss players, it is pretty safe to go 1-gate expand against Zerg. You are, with the removal of Photon Overcharge, you're going to see a lot of players go massling against you at about 3 or 4 minutes. It's pretty darn efficient for the Zerg. If the Protoss isn't prepared for it, if there isn't a nice wall, if there aren't some ranged units, some sentries that throw up force fields especially can really help with that, then yes, you're in trouble if you go 1-gate expand. But if you're prepared, you don't have to fear. Meanwhile, QC does have an expansion up, which is great. He's got 1 gas, he's got a spawning pool, he's getting some queens. Nothing too crazy, and he is drone scouting, which I'm a huge fan of. Send a worker out, you guys. Just do it. Just see what's going on. He knows that Sindrew doesn't have an expansion, which means either Sindrew's going to go for a crazy 1-base attack, or he's expanding late, as he kind of is here. Yeah, this drone could actually block this off in a bit of a reversal. Usually probes are blocking off expansions for Zerg, but in this case, no. Okay, I love the shield battery here too. Shield battery, excellent, excellent against those early attacks. An adept is out. Look at that adept. Pretty fancy looking adept with that, I don't know what that thing is behind her head. Pretty neat though, like the colors. Alright, now here come these Zerglings, as I previously mentioned. Usually they're going to be speedlings, right? QC has enough to go for speed, but is not actually getting metabolic boost. Now slowlings are, according to the Falcon Paladin Gospel, the worst units in the game. So here we go, 2 adepts with a shield battery support against slowlings. I kind of feel like they can hold this. You ready? Okay, these 2 lings changed their minds. They're waiting for their friends, but man, this is only maybe 8 Zerglings that are going to try to come up here and get through this. It's just not going to happen, especially because they're not on attack move, right? They're trying to regular move up, walk through these adepts, and therefore not even getting any shots off. Okay, now they're getting some shots off, but man, this healing is just fast. Can absolutely heal through the damage done by 1 or 2 lings on an adept, especially considering they start out with that 1 armor that knocks down the attacks of the lings to 4. 4 attacks. 4 damage per attack is not great. All right, so the ling's heading on back there. Excellent job. Just wonderful hold there by Sindrew. Overlord scouting this stuff out. He sees exactly what's going on. Gateway, a gateway, and a gateway. So it's going to be a pretty gateway-heavy thing here. I'd love to see a robotics facility or a Stargate out of Sindrew. Once you're on 2 bases, you can tech up to that tier 3 stuff pretty quickly without having to worry too much about what's coming from the Zerg, the other side of the Zerg. Now, at this point, QC needs to expand. He saw, right? He sees the expansion for Sindrew. He does, right? Yeah, he saw that it was going down. He knows that it's there. He needs to go for a 3rd base. 3 bases are what you want against the Protoss, who's on the 2 base. But so far, no sign of an expansion here. He's also floating a lot of minerals. You want to spend your money. Also droning up pretty well. Here is QC making 8 drones at a time. It's going to put him on top of Sindrew quite nicely, 42 to 30. And now it's going, okay, for a Hydralisk Den and a Spire. So good higher tech choices out of QC right now. Mutalisks can be pretty great in the lower levels. It does take some specific Phoenix control or really good Blinkstalker control to deal with Mutos or Archons if you're going to attack on top of the Archons. If you happen to be the Zerg player, don't do that. Don't ever attack on Archons if you have Mutas. It does not go well for you. That splash damage plus that bonus versus biological is not your friend. Templar Archives. Oh, okay. So Sindrew was making Templar Archives that whole time. I apologize for maligning you, Sindrew. You knew what you were doing the whole time. How did you get supply blocked? Do you have to kill one of your own? What a what? How did QC get supply blocked? Well, he's not. Oh, QC. Derp. Okay, that makes more sense. Makes more sense. Did lose that Overlord. I believe the Stalkers ended up killing it. Yeah, the Stalkers ended up killing that. Excellent job getting rid of that scouting. Got some Roaches, got some Lings. Does he still not have... He does have speed. Okay, thank goodness. The Lings have speed now, and there's your third base from QC. Again, it's late. It is late, which can really kill you against a two-basing Protoss player. If you don't have a third base up, you don't have the production to make enough units to defend against a two-base attack from a Protoss like that. So you want to expand a little bit earlier than this. I do like that he's getting Glial Reconstitution, speed for the Roaches, and Muscular Augments for the Hydralisks. Movement speed increased by 25%, and their range increased by 1. Which doesn't seem like it's a lot, but trust me, it's definitely a lot. Storm being researched by Sindrew. We've got a couple Mutalisks on the way, and this is kind of something that I see with Zerg players at the lower levels, is they just kind of make a few of everything, and it can be good. It can be good, but you really want overwhelming numbers here. Mutalisks in the 3s and 4s are okay for harassment if they're not going to win a battle. Right, you want 10, 12 of them if you're really going to do some damage. Roach count looks okay. Link count okay as well. So, this might work out for QC. Lings, Roaches, and Mutas against... Whoa, look at that. Look at that skin on those Stalkers. I didn't recognize that previously. And the High Templar with their skin, too. The Purification, blah, blah, blah. What were they from the campaign? It's been so long since I played the LOTV campaign. But they're like the sentient robot form of Protoss. Golly, someone's going to kill me in the comments. Falcon, you're so dumb. Why don't you remember the name of this? Yeah, I should. I should, but again, I'm kind of sick. That will be my excuse for today. It won't be the kids. Won't be the kids this time around. Immortal Production, Robotics Bay. Coming in here from Sindrew to Colossus. Very, very good in the latest patch of Legacy of the Void. Definitely get some Colossus if your Zerg opponent has ground units like this. Lings, Roaches, Hydras, Colossus is going to be great in that situation. Obviously, not great against the Mutas because they can't shoot up, but that's why you're going to could make some Archons with these High Templar, and that's why you have some Stalkers. Mutas flying out. Let's see what they can do. Just flying on up, going to see what can happen. I'd like to see 5 here instead of 4 Mutalisks. That's generally what happens with the pros, but alright, flying around this backside and going after some of these workers in Sindrew's main base. Look out, workers! No, you're in so much trouble right now. Wow, okay, so also you need to pay attention to sounds that you're under attack, and if your workers are under attack, move them away. Okay, good blink actually. That was a decent blink. Caught an extra Mutalisk there. QC didn't pull away as fast as he could have there, but he got 11 probe kills, which is excellent. But yeah, I need to pay attention to the sounds. You're being told that your workers are under attack when they are. And when they are, find where they are, box select them like this, and right-click them down here somewhere away from the Mutas, so that your army has a chance to get up there and defend. Also, cannons, shield battery, not bad. Cannon's pretty good against Mutas, especially in small numbers. If you've got 1 cannon in your mineral line, a group of 5 Mutas are going to have a hard time dealing with that. Alright, so we do have a Roachling Hydra army pushing on out from the Zerg player. And what is he going to do here? Extended Thermal Lance on the way from the Sindrew. Got Stalkers. A Colossus is out. And there's those Zealots. There are those Zealots. Alright, so Roaches, I mean, if it wasn't for this Colossus, it'd be pretty good composition for QC. Not going to lie about that. Alright, Muta's going to fly around and try to harass while the army's out. That is actually a brilliant maneuver from QC. Going after these workers of the natural base. Yes, there's a shield battery. Yes, it's healing them, but it's not healing them fast enough to keep them from dying. And the attack up the front here, too. Don't attack. This is a bad place to attack into. Beautiful storms from Sindrew. Everybody on the ground is dying, but so many dead probes. 23 dead probes so far. Muta's flying on up to the main base to do the same thing. Again, if there was a cannon, it'd be so much better. But a huge warping of Stalkers, which is excellent for the Sindrew. And fighting against these Stalkers is not something that you want to do. You really don't, especially with the shield battery support here. Okay, it doesn't have very much energy, but all your Mutas are definitely dead against those Stalkers. Unless you have Mutas in bigger numbers, you're not going to win battles. You're not going to win those battles. All right, where are we at? Where are we at, lads? They're just hanging out. I mean, QC sitting on 2,800 minerals and 1,400 gas. He could have a maxed out army right now easily if he wanted to, but unfortunately, his larva count is currently 2, which means his injects have not been very good. You need to keep up on the injects here. There's a timer with your queens. Well, there's a timer on the hatchery. See this? When that hits 0, you can inject again. You can also queue up injects, which is really useful at these lower levels. If you notice your queen right here has 110 energy, you can go inject, which, well, spawn larva. Anyway, spawn, and then wait for that to finish, and then spawn immediately again, and again and again and again, and it will queue it up. It'll use all the energy on the queen, but it'll get you queued injects that will consistently be producing larvae for you. It's really nice. I find myself using it quite a bit. I'll be out battling, and I'll look back and say, oh, my queens have a lot of energy, and then just inject, 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 and for the next 2 or 3, 4 minutes, depending on how much energy you have, you're going to be perfect on your injects. So it's kind of a way to catch up, right? Yes, you did poorly in the early game, but you're not dead. It doesn't murder you for the rest of the time, and the mid-game can be much, much better. All right, Colossus. I'd like to see more Colossus out of Sindrew. He is making a Nexus, and that's about it. It's 59 to 25 Harvesters. QC has a massive worker lead, but again, just not spending his money very well because he can't, because he doesn't have the larva production that he needs to continue to spend his money. Look, this doesn't even have... There we go. There's your inject. Or did that... Wait, did you queue up some injects there? Might actually have some queued up there. I'm not doing it here. I don't know what's going on. I don't know at all. +2 melee attack coming in here from QC. Now, again, that's good for the Lings, but where there are... Okay, there's Archons. Look at that Archon. That's crazy. It's just so buff. I think it's Purifier skin, right? Pretty sure that's what that is. All right, Colossus back there just absolutely hammering. The storms from the right side. The High Templar managing to stay alive for the most part. I'm very surprised by that. Observer scouting in, seeing exactly where this Roach Hydra army is going into observer mode. Is that what it's called? I always forget. It is an observer. No. It's surveillance mode, something like that. But basically, it increases the sight distance and makes it so it cannot move. Warp Prism slipping on in here from the Sindrew. Gonna see what it can do. We usually don't see Warp Prism tactics. Holy mutas, though. QC just made a whole ton of Mutalisk. He's got 11 in production right now. And here is a big old Zealot warping at the natural base. But the entire army is here to clean this thing up. And the mutas are going to chase down that Warp Prism. The mutas should chase down that Warp Prism. There we go. They're looking for it. Oh, the Warp Prism's juking. Juking real nice. Trying to say, if I hold still, maybe they can't see me. Maybe they're really like T-Rexes. Right? They look like T-Rexes. There's the head. There's the tail. There's the legs and the arms. Yes. That's what Husky used to call them. T-Rexes. And, Mutalisk found it. Found the Warp Prism. It's going to die. So Sindrew doing a better job spending his money, but has 25 fewer workers than QC does. So it's easier to spend your money when your income is not as good. That is a pro tip from the Falcon Paladin. +3 Zerg melee attack from QC. I like it, but what are you... I mean, how many of the units you have use melee attack? Currently 0. Are you going for Ultralisks? Is that the plan, my good friend? He's got 2 Infestation Pits, which is a bit unfortunate. No. Why is he getting melee attack? Muta's trying to fly in here and deal with this whole army, but remember I said about Archons and Stalkers? No. Don't do it. Mutalisk can't just fly on in there and handle it. You gotta have some support, some Hydras, some Roaches. Again, I don't know why you're not getting more missile attack, because you have so many Roaches and Hydras. And absolutely no Lings in this army whatsoever. Observer scouts this. Oh, Overseer got in range of the Observer and murders it. But Sindrew knows this is coming. I like the aggression from the Zerg player. Oh, the Overseer's flying over the Stalkers here, getting murdered fairly well. Stalkers on, again, from the backside. The storms have just been ridiculous for Sindrew. these sneak attacks that QC does not recognize are coming for the last couple of battles here. And yeah, Colossus has 14 total kills. The entire army of QC is murdered here. Muta's doing some more work here at the natural base. Just absolutely 32 probes dead. Ooh, some friendly firestorms there. Not ideal. Trying to pick off the High Templar, but eating storms to do it. And if the Mutas stick around, they're absolutely all going to die. You guys don't do it. I don't know how to beat that. Does QC your things? Are all the Mutas dead? The Mutas are taking longer to die than I thought they would, but they are absolutely all dead. Wait! There's one Muta down here. Now he's dead. Alright, so the way you want to beat these things is more Mutalisks, possibly. You want to go ahead and dodge those storms. You want to get upgrades for the units that you're actually making, right? Get that plus armor for your ground units, plus melee. I guess he's going for ultras now. Maybe he was planning this whole time. He has a swarm host, maybe an accidental swarm host there. Seems entirely possible. But yeah, and just be spending your money. He's spending it now. He's got 48 Zerglings on the way, which seems like a lot. Also get adrenal glands for those lings. Increasing the attack speed of lings by 40% is absolutely nuts. They are good. They are really good. And even 40 lings, I think, could just beat this right here. I know there's a couple Colossus, but man, 40 lings getting us around on this. The Immortals, the Stalkers. It's not going to happen. Even with two shield batteries here, the lings should be able to handle it. Where did all those lings go? I saw them being produced. Where are they? Oh, they're not rallied anywhere. Okay, always rally your stuff. Always rally your things. Always, even if it's just right over here instead of right up against your eggs and your queens, it just unclutters things. See how cluttered this is? Come on in here, trying to find your queen, do some injects. It's not going to be a good time. Fourth base by QC. Again, a little bit late. You saw your opponent take your third about 5 or 6 minutes ago. You want to be one base ahead of them. Always and forever. Now, Ultras should be just fine here. Ultras against this composition of Stalker Colossus, where there's only one Immortal, I think you're going to be all right. If there's 4 or 5 Immortals, you're going to be in a bad time. Muta's flying back on into the main base. If there's one thing QC can do, it's Mutalisk harassment. 100%. And the Lings just rolling. Okay, they're splitting up their forces, though. Lings, there are some Vipers. Oh, the storms on all of the Zerglings. Oh, my gosh. Lings coming right on up here. There are finally some Ultras joining the party. Roach is trying to do what they can, but there are 3 Colossus now. And the Immortal with 9 kills. 30 kills on that Colossus. Everybody dead, but the Mutalisks absolutely wrecking what is left of Sindrew's main base right now. He's down to 32 Harvesters with a 17-minute mark of this game. The Vipers did nothing. I mean, maybe some Abduct would have been good with the Vipers. It's like QC heard that Vipers were good and decided to make them, but did he cast anything with the Vipers? I am unconvinced that he did. Entirely unconvinced that he did. All right, more Mutas dead. We're looking at 40 dead Mutalisks so far in this game. Crikey. Yeah, armor would be fantastic. Armor's really great against the Protoss. It's just not doing any of it here. All right, as this Colossus count starts to increase, Corruptors are going to be a good answer. Corruptors do extra damage versus massive stuff, which is what Colossus are. They can hit them because they're massive and big and towery. And then from that point, once the Colossus are gone, you can pretty much clean this up with, I don't know, the Ultras would be a good answer, honestly. Did you lose your Immortal? No, where is he? Is he just in there? I can't see him. Yeah, he's just back behind those guys. Is all he is. Well, it's 198 to 98 total supply. We've got a lot of Ultralisks, which is beautiful. I'd love to see some Corruptor play, though. You know what? I think if QC attacks now, he just wins. I really do. I can see it. +3 attack is just about complete here for Sindrew, too. If he gets that, that's going to help. But, man, no armor. No armor on these Ultras at all. Working on +1 ground carapace. But if you're going to make this many Ultras, absolutely 100%, you need to get chitinous plating. Where is it? Here it is. Increases your Ultra's armor by 2. Are you kidding me? Get it. Always get that upgrade. If you're making more than 1 Ultra, do it. I don't know why you would just make 1 Ultra, but who knows? Hello, Ms. Magamech. Isn't that I'm trying to think if that's an homage to somebody in the StarCraft 2 community. I think it may be. Maybe. Observer sees this. I like what Sindrew is doing. Sindrew has made 1 attack in this entire game. That's a problem. The one attack in the natural base that could absolutely clean up. Otherwise, he's been playing defense the entire time. QC says, this is awkward. Is there a 5th base? No. And here we go. Ultra Ling into this Colossus. The positioning by Sindrew is amazing right here. The Storms are being eaten by the Ultras. The Immortals, 2 Immortals back there, just doing extra damage versus Ultras like their life depends on it right now. I love what Sindrew is doing, making sure there's a choke here, but does he have enough units is the problem. Ultra's right on top of the Stalkers. This Immortal's getting chomped on, but he's got how many? Oh, he had a lot of kills before he died. I'm sure he did. Colossus gone. Stalker's gone. This might be the beginning of the end for the Sindrew. This Colossus with 38 kills is finally going to go down. An Immortal is up. An Immortal very, very good against these Roaches and these Ultras. And he's holding the top right there. And QC backing out. Yeah, that's a really good indication of what positioning can do for you. So, in that position, as QC, I would have attacked this 3rd base and force Sindrew to respond. Force him to come out into the open where he can get surrounded, where my attacking units have more surface area to attack. And if he wants to sit back here in this narrow alley and defend, he can do that, but he's going to lose his 3rd base and obviously lose the game. So, that is something that I would recommend. +3 missile attack coming in. He's expanding up north. Is Sindrew here? QC sitting on 5 bases himself, happily mining from that. 59 workers. I mean, you really want to get up to at least 70 workers, 72, 75. 80 is generally too much. And you can check that by hovering on the top right-hand side. So here we go. It's a Ling Muta attack here from QC. This 3rd base is in a lot of trouble. And again, I mean, Sindrew can hold that ramp, but he can't move out to save his 3rd base, and he is just absolutely getting massacred right now. I think QC's got this. 200 to 43 total supply in general. That means the game is over. Mutalisk is flying over. There's a handful of Stalkers. Good force fields. The Mutas can... No, the Ultras can break the force fields. Oh, the Storms, though. So many dead Zerglings. Oh, the Storms. Sindrew's Storms have been excellent, but he just kept losing so many workers it didn't really matter in the long run, and that's it. Sindrew is gone. QC's victorious. In 22 minutes and 4 seconds. 338 Lings died in this game. That is so many Zerglings. 40 Stalkers, 57 probes got killed. That's the thing. Sindrew didn't have the economy to keep making the army after these battles. He lost so many probes. Again, a couple cannons. Couple cannons at your main base. Couple cannons at your natural is going to help. I do like the shield battery, but better against Lings than Mutas, as it turns out. Resources lost here, 25,000 for Sindrew compared to 31,000 for QC. Yeah, I mean, that's 13 Ultras, 36 Roaches, 44 Mutas, 37 Hydras in exchange for 19 High Templar. That's a lot of dead High Templar. That's more than I thought. 5 Archons, 4 Immortals, 30 Zealots, and a base. Whew. All right, so that's going to be it from me. This has been Falcon Paladin coming to you with yet another Into the Void cast. Go ahead and hit that like button. Hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and others. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.
Broken and ashamed by what you have done. There is no redemption. And so you must run. And it's taken your heart and broken your soul. You cannot go back until you're made whole. And you're running into the void. You go searching into the void to find a place you can live. Place you can love. Is it just an illusion? push comes to shove, there's a light upon you, and you follow it on. Looking for a reason and a way to atone. All around you, the planets and stars. You're lost in a maelstrom of a great new unknown. And you're running into the void. You go searching into the void to find a place you can live, a place you can love. Is it just an illusion when push comes to shove? And you're running into the void. You go searching into the void. And you're running into the void.